Hi there, Kristan Brown with the Trinity Consulting. We specialize in employee engagement. So how was your day today? I asked that question because I wonder if you were to ask that question of your employees, your team members, anyone within your organization or company, or even yourself, what would your answer be? And if I were to ask another question, which was, how's your week been? How's your month been? How connected do you feel to the organization that you are a part of? How committed are you to the organization? What would your answer be? And is there room for improvement? Most of the time, there is room for improvement. And a lot of the ways that we think about employee engagement is that not only do you want to focus on productivity and increased profitability, those are always kind of the first things that people think about with employee engagement, but there also is that connection to the organization, the commitment to the organization, and the communication within the organization, and how closely the organization or company is that their purpose or the mission, vision, and values, that's kind of the common way of thinking about this, how closely are the actions of the company in alignment with the talk? So are you walking the walk, so to speak? And a lot of times there may be certain areas that is working and certain areas where it's not. So one of the things that a Trinity Consulting really excels at is a very comprehensive assessment phase. And in that, we are able to give a really close attention to all levels within an organization, all divisions. It's a very, very complete look at where you are, because as we know, in order to set goals and then achieve goals, we need to know what our starting place is. So I mentioned that we're always looking at the level of commitment and the level of connection, and a lot of times that's going to relate to communication, right? How the communication of the organization is really espousing their purpose, and how closely aligned the systems and processes are in support of that purpose. The communication that happens between colleagues, the communication that happens within a team, the communication that is happening when you have managers or leaders and subordinates, and vice versa. So we're always looking at communication when we look at employee engagement, and a big part of communication is that concept of psychological safety. Do the members within your group, within your organization, feel safe, feel comfortable enough bringing their whole selves to work? And I think one of the silver linings that we've discovered in this time during the pandemic, and also in relation to the conversations that we are having around race and social justice, is how many of us felt like we had to bring a professional persona that left bits of our whole self behind. And I think that we have a greater appreciation and perhaps a greater understanding that it truly is a much richer experience for the organization as a whole, not to mention the individual, when their whole self is present. So we look at ways to gauge where you are in terms of the psychological safety amongst the members of your organization, and where we can improve. And we have also, so that's it. I can't stress enough the importance of having that conversation and being willing to to look at yourself and shine a bright light within your organization. So where does DEI and anti-racism work fit in? Well, when we're talking about psychological safety, and when we're talking about employee engagement and the level of commitment that individuals feel to the organization, and vice versa, how committed the organization is to their individuals, their employees, DEI and anti-racism work is tremendously important. There is plenty of data that supports the reality that a diverse workplace is a better workplace, better for everyone. So how are you stifling diversity? How are you creating, what systems are in place that could be improved to increase diversity, to increase psychological safety, to what systems are in place that are in support of systemic or institutional racism? And sometimes it's hard for organizations to evaluate themselves, which is one of the benefits of hiring an outside consultant. And it also, I think, and whether you hire Trinity or a different agency, I think it's worth considering that by hiring an outside consultant and taking the time to do the work, and with the idea that if we're coming in fresh to your organization, we have the ability to be much more objective and much more kind of clear-headed in how we do our assessment. So I think that it is easier sometimes for us to build trust, and it also can be easier for us to help create that container or help facilitate some of those difficult conversations that need to be had. So I would love to talk to you more about our work as employee engagement specialists, the work we do with regard to DEI and anti-racism, and really just how we can help you develop a culture where the employee experience is exceptional, because your people are your greatest asset and your greatest resource. And we want to be encouraging everyone to bring their whole self and their best self to each and every day. I look forward to talking to you. My doors are always open. Feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much.